Okay, so let's revise a little bit, okay? So we studied about the relationship between the temperature and the reaction rate, the relationship between surface area and reaction rate. And we said, as we increasing the temperature, how can this affect the reaction rate?
Yeah.
How can this affect the reaction rate?
I think as the temperature increases, the reaction rate becomes faster.
Yeah, will increase the reaction rate. Okay, what about the increasing surface area? How can this affect?
Surface area?
Yeah, if we increase the surface area.
Oh, the same thing. I think it will be faster because energy will be separated like equally.
So we will increase the reaction rate. Okay, now we will look for the catalysts, okay? Let's study catalyst and the reaction rate. What is the catalyst and how does it work, okay? We all have in our bodies, okay, we have catalysts, which is can stop reaction. Yes?
Just 1 second for the workbook.
Yeah. Let's talk about this later, okay? Because we are recording now, okay? So we have natural catalysts inside our body, starting from our mouth. The whole digestive system, okay, use catalysts to speed up the reaction, which is digesting the food. So we have here in our mouth, we have a substance, which is enzyme. The enzyme is a catalyst called salivary amylase. Do you remember when we tried, I think, this in the classroom to keep a piece of bread in our mouth?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember.
After seconds, without chewing, okay, after seconds, we started to become sweet, right?
Yes.
We were tasting the sweet taste. Okay, what happened here? The amylase start to break down the starch that inside the bread, which is the which is carbohydrate. Okay, so the amylase start to break it down, so it will make it easy to be digested in the stomach and the small intestine, large intestine. So the enzyme speeded up the reaction, which is the breaking down. Okay? Breaking down is a reaction also because it's forming new substance. So if we break down the starch, what we might get, what we will get, which substance we can get from breaking down the starch?
Sugar.
Sugar, which is?
Glucose.
Glucose, thank you. So we will get glucose. So starch is a substance, okay, and glucose is another substance. So this is a reaction. Breaking down the starch to get glucose, this is a reaction. So here in the saliva, okay, we have the enzyme, which is the amylase, okay? So when this amylase broke down the starch, it speeded up this breaking down, so that's why it's a catalyst. This is a natural catalyst, okay? Here we have all enzymes are example of catalysts, which is a substance that speeds up a reaction without being used up in the reaction. Here the amylase, we didn't use the amylase, we didn't lose the amylase. We still have the amylase inside our mouth. So we are only using the amylase to convert the starch into glucose only without joining the amylase in the reaction to form another compound. So without using the amylase to form another substance. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Here we have a reaction, okay, before the reaction, okay, I will share the page of the book. And I want to show you, okay? We have another natural catalyst. Hydrogen peroxide is a bleach, which is we can use it for whitening, okay? So it makes paper white. Hydrogen peroxide is normally diluted with water. It breaks down very slowly to make water and oxygen gas. If you kept hydrogen peroxide out, okay? Sorry. Sorry. Okay. So if we kept hydrogen peroxide out without using a dark bottles to keep it and keep it away from the temperature, it will start to break down. Alhamdulillah, sorry. Okay. It will start to break down into hydrogen, gas, and water. So this is a reaction. Why this is a reaction? Because hydrogen peroxide here is a compound. Water is a compound also, and oxygen is an element. So we formed two new substances. So this is a reaction. Reaction, when you form a new substance, we call it a reaction. Whether breaking down this compound or form another compound. So this reaction, which is breaking down the compound into another compound and element, or into more than one element, or into different compounds, we call it decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction. You remember the decomposers in biology?
Yeah.
Yes.
Decomposers' function is to break down the dead bodies, right? And take in nutrients, use their nutrients. So breaking down these compounds called decomposition reaction comes from the decompose, okay, which is breaking down, okay? So hydrogen peroxide is taking a long time to break down into water and oxygen. So how can we make it faster? How can we speed the reaction, okay? We have natural catalyst, okay, which is the chicken liver, okay? Chicken liver has a substance inside it called catalase, okay? Catalase, which is a catalyst. This enzyme can make the reaction happens much faster, okay? Which is make it happen quickly. Speed the reaction, speed the decomposition reaction. So this is another natural catalyst. Okay, what about the chemical ones that we are using in the lab? We have here a test. We have here a test about, which made by a student. She wanted to test oxygen gas, okay? She wanted to test oxygen gas. So she puts a glowing splint, which is like piece of glowing metal, okay, in the foam here, and and she got the glowing splint to relight again, okay, to glow again. This shows that the gas produced in the reaction is oxygen, okay? She saw that the gas here coming from the foam here is an oxygen. She wanted to test this oxygen using a catalyst. She wants to speed up the reaction to test the amount of oxygen that she could produce. So what did she do is she sets her apparatus here, like as you can see with a conical flask, measuring cylinder and a tube, okay, and test the bubbles and the amount of oxygen that she has in the conical flask up here. Now she got, let me get the mouse. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get the page. I lost the page. Okay, here's the page, okay? So she drew a table, okay, for the results that she got. She tested many catalysts, which is one of them is manganese, manganese oxide, lead oxide, iron oxide, copper oxide, zinc oxide, hydrogen peroxide only. She didn't use any catalyst here. So when she tested the manganese and she added the manganese to the solution that she has, which is hydrogen peroxide, she got the volume of oxygen 25 cubic centimeter in the measuring cylinder. When she added the lead, she got 28 cubic centimeter, iron 0, copper oxide 1, and she got 0, 0 with the zinc oxide and the hydrogen peroxide only. Okay. Now she made her conclusion. She wrote her conclusion depending on her results. So what did she conclude here? She concluded that manganese oxide and lead oxide was the best catalysts for the decomposition reaction because they speeded up they produced the most amount of the oxygen here. She said that I know this because they produce the biggest volume of oxygen gas in 1 minute. She tested this only in 1 minute, each catalyst in 1 minute, and she got the best results from manganese oxide and lead oxide. So here she was wondering, how do this catalyst work? How do this catalyst work? So let's see together how do they work. Catalysts make it easier for the reaction to start. Why? Because they are speeding up the reaction. Okay, the decomposition reaction here of hydrogen peroxide happens on the surface of the catalyst powder, because we said earlier the reaction is happening on the surface of the solid material, okay, the solid particles or the particles, the surface of the particles. So the particles here, the surface of the crystal powders, which is the catalyst, the reaction there took place on the surface of the catalyst. Okay, in this case, they started the reaction and they made it easy to react for the hydrogen peroxide. Okay, where can they use the catalyst? Okay, you know what? Let me show you a video first before using the catalysts, okay, on the decomposition reaction. Then we will go to using the catalyst.
In this lesson, we will learn about how a catalyst affects the rate of the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. Fairly dilute solutions of hydrogen peroxide, approximately 3 to 30% volume by volume, can be used as a household cleaning agent to remove stains on furniture and clothing. It can also be used to bleach or lighten darker hair. Whatever the real-life uses, hydrogen peroxide is always stored in a dark plastic container away from sunlight. This is because in the presence of warm conditions and UV light, hydrogen peroxide can decompose into water and oxygen because the oxygen-oxygen bond in the molecule is unstable. Since aqueous hydrogen peroxide and water are clear and colorless liquids, we will monitor the rate of this reaction by measuring the amount of oxygen produced. This decomposition reaction can be catalyzed by manganese oxide. The oxygen produced can be measured using a gas syringe. Place a set amount of hydrogen peroxide and add a small spatula of manganese oxide, a fine black powder. Quickly stopper the flask so to prevent any involved oxygen from escaping into the surroundings. You will see that fizzing happens, which shows that oxygen gas is being produced. This is an exothermic reaction.
Guys, can you tell me why this is exothermic reaction?
Because it gives out gas, or like
It gives out energy.
It releases energy. It releases energy. As you can touch it, you will find it a little bit warm. Okay?
meaning that heat energy is released. The volume of oxygen evolved can be recorded at specific time intervals. Plotting the volume of oxygen produced.
Guys, she used here a line graph. Why?
what?
Why did she use a line graph here in this experiment? Okay, I lost connection, okay, and here. Can you tell me why she used a line graph?
Because the line graph shows, which is like the variables that change,
Sorry, Selma, I couldn't hear you well.
like time, like you could use this for like those variables or that are like changeable, I guess. What do you
Yeah.
call those variables? I forgot.
Okay, Naeem, do you have another idea? Naeem, can you hear me? Naeem? Okay, so here she used a line graph because she has continuous variables, which keep changing, like take any value. So that's why she used the line graph.
Right against time will give a graph that is similar to this one right here. We can measure the rate of this reaction at any time in this reaction by selecting a point on the curve and drawing a line tangent to the curve. Calculating the gradient of the tangent will give you the rate of the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide at that point in time. A steeper gradient is representative of a faster rate of reaction, whereas a less steep gradient is representative of a slower rate of reaction. At the start of the reaction, the rate of decomposition is fast.
Is it clear now for you?
Yes.
Okay. So now, where can they use the catalyst, or how can they use the catalyst? Okay, catalysts are vital in chemical industries. They speed reactions up, so more products is made in a shorter time. You know, they have the, like for example, the soaps, okay? When they want to use soap, or they make soaps, they are adding catalysts to speed up the reactions and get more products in shorter time. They're using even, for example, in big industries, such as like the plastic, the polyethylene, and these stuff, they are using catalysts so they can get more products in shorter time, in less time. So that's why they are so important. For example, here they are using catalysts in converters, a converter system converters in car exhaust system, okay, which is the system that the system that can release the smoke, which is the gases from the cars, okay. What they are doing, they are using catalytic converter in car exhaust system, contain metal catalysts such as platinum, rhodium, and palladium, okay? Why they're using these catalysts? To convert the carbon monoxide, which is poisonous one, into carbon monoxide, into carbon dioxide. I'm so sorry, okay? I supposed to write here carbon dioxide, okay? into carbon, which is CO2, carbon dioxide, okay? Carbon dioxide to be less harmful to the environment. So the metals catalyze reaction in which poisonous carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide, which is not poisonous. So they are adding catalytic converters, which is speeding up the reaction and convert the product at the same time into less harmful compound, okay? So this was all about the catalyst and the reaction rate. So in this lesson, we explained about the natural catalyst and what is a catalyst. It's a chemical or a substance that speeds up the reaction without being used in the reaction, So we don't lose it, we are just using it, okay? And we studied about also how can hydrogen peroxide decompose into water and oxygen, which is break down into water and oxygen. This is by natural catalyst. And how can we speed up the reaction using another chemical catalyst such as manganese oxide and lead oxide? Also, we studied and how do the catalysts work by speeding up the reaction, because the reaction is happening on their surfaces. So they will start the reaction, make it easy to start. We studied also about how can we use the catalyst and why scientists they are using catalysts to because they want to speed up the reaction to produce more products, to get more products in less time. So it will be helpful for them in the industries. Okay, also we studied about how can we convert the harmful compounds into harmless compounds, such as the converters in car systems. And they can use it they can add metal catalysts such as platinum, rhodium, and palladium to convert carbon monoxide, which is poisonous, deadly, into carbon monoxide, which is not poisonous. So this was all about the catalyst and the reaction rate. Do you have any question about this?
No.
Okay, so in this case, we finished all the curriculum, okay? I needed to solve the rest of the questions for the chemistry, biology, and still have physics, okay? So I hope to see you next time in a new lesson for physics, okay?